has happened is over the last year, through a series of a handful of Supreme Court rulings, we actually began to treat sales tax differently than we have in the past. And there's really two different issues. The first issue, and I'm going to use a utility company. Let's say that I have a non-for-profit business, or I am one of these agricultural entities that the product that I buy, the electricity, the natural gas, whatever it is actually sales tax exempt. After this ruling by the Supreme Court, what happened is the Department of Revenue, it is in their interpretation that now, even though the end user, the final customer, is sales tax exempt, the entity, i.e. the electricity company, the gas company, whoever it is not. And they have come back and told these gas companies and the utilities that unless we codify in the law that they do not owe that sales tax, that they will be liable for the tax. So this codifies and clarifies in the state statute that the company is not liable if the customer is sales tax exempt. The other component of this deals with the entertainment industry, and specifically tourism. And the great debate that has happened here is where in the transaction do we tax tickets? Specifically, the one that we've heard a lot of this discussion about is like the shows in Branson. Right now, if I am the group who produces the show, and you happen to be a reseller or whatever you want to call yourself, right now, if you come to me and you buy 100 tickets, I tax you at that point. The reason that we tax at that point of sale is twofold. Number one, what that ensures is that all the revenue stays in the state of Missouri. And then number two, because the revenue stays in the state of Missouri and it's tourism dollars, as you know, our tourism funding comes back around and actually benefits those areas where it's generated. That's the reason why it's always been operated the way that it has. The flip side, in the court ruling, following the court ruling, what would have happened if we do not pass this, which, by the way, what this does is codify into law the way that it currently works. If we do not pass this, what happens is that if you come and buy those 100 tickets from me, and let's just say that you happen to be a company that you're putting together a travel group in Florida, and so you're a Florida-based company that comes and buys those 100 tickets from me, then you are going to have to charge sales tax at the point of retail, which is in Florida, so the state of Missouri does not receive those proceeds. And so that's the debate. And so what we have constantly had here is, where do you want to tax it? And historically, they have done it at the point that I talked about at first, because that was the only way that they could ensure all the dollars stayed in the state of Missouri and were essentially focused back into tourism.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Tracy King here representing the Missouri Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and we do support Senate Bill 928. As you've heard, this is one of probably the most important pieces of legislation that we could pass this year, because right now the courts have ruled, so businesses and local governments, including police and fire, are starting to see an increase in their costs. For an example, we have a business who installs communication devices located in St. Louis, and he buys these for millions of dollars and sells them to police and ambulance and fire districts. And when he sells those, they're tax exempt, and then he gets a fee for the installation. The court's ruled now that he has to pay the tax, which is more than his installation fee on this piece of equipment. But the guys in Illinois who are bidding against him don't. And so he has made it very clear and very public that he will pick up and move to the state of Illinois if we don't pass this legislation. He's one of just a few of our members that have expressed this. This is very significant, and without this, we think that you'll see a loss of jobs in a time in the economy when we just can't do that right now. So again, what Senator Lager mentioned on the tourism services that are taxed, if we don't change this, the tourism money that stay local now will go out of state.